Okay, so carrying on now with this beautiful knight. Now I'm going to focus on the body. So I'm going to build the entire body up. However, just at the end, I'm not going to glue on the top part of it. I'm going to leave that loose so that it's easier to paint the internals. Now, it is a bit of a long process, so I think what I should probably do on this video is do section probably 2 up to just before I've finished building Sir Hector inside it. So I'll probably stop at that stage. So we'll call this the main carriage, as it were. Right, now going to need 2 different sprues, so this is going to be fun flicking between them to get all the parts together. We start off over here with the one with these huge side pieces on. So I'm going to start off with 106, 109, 108 and 107. Let's get on the way with this then. So 106, that's on this side. Now you can see there's so many insertion points on this. I fear I'm going to have to get myself even higher up by the look of it, because it's just going to be so difficult trying to get in. You can even see my little self-made flock over here. Really squeeze myself outwards onto the desk. Gosh, you don't realise how big these kits are until you get hold of them again. Anyways, hopefully that's making it a bit easier to see. I mean, just to give you an idea, there's huge amounts of space that I'm using up on my desk, and I've zoomed the camera quite far out to cope with this. It's on full screen mode and everything. Okay. So if I don't do it like this, then I've just got no manoeuvrable space. Of course, I may zoom back in when I'm doing a fiddly bit so that you can actually see what I'm doing with that. So I apologise if this video is kind of doing a Tower of Terror thing of constantly popping up and down, but I think that's probably the best way to handle this. Okay, so here's 106. Now I'm got 108 and 109. So I think I'll probably tidy up this piece here first, and then I'll attach each one of these pieces individually. Now, unfortunately, it looks like there's quite a bit of tidying up to do on this model by the look of it. So, just want to see here. So, along with obviously the injection points for the plastic on the sprue, there's a lot of mold lines on this. You can see, hopefully you can see there, got a mold line running right the way along, and I've got dogs barking outside to further improve the quality of my videos. Okay. I think my next purchase, when I'm done with this, it's gonna have to be a Bane blade. I miss not having a Bane blade. Gosh, look at this. I've got to clean. This is really needed a lot of cleaning up. Now, I don't want to overdo it. partly because this is very hidden, this section, so no one will really see it. I'm cleaning it up so thoroughly so that I get a clean join wherever wherever any other part goes. But there are definitely a couple of parts on this that are visible. Okay, getting there. As I said, it may seem like I'm, really going over the top here with what I'm doing, but honestly, I'm doing it so that I can get rid of these mold lines. I want, you spend this much money on a kit, you want to put that extra effort in sometimes. Okay, so there we go. I've tidied up those mold lines on that one. It's only taken me 7 minutes so far to get this far along, so I'm sure this is not going to be torturous as I very slowly clean up every single little part. Right. Gosh, what do I put myself into? 108, 109 now. Don't know why I've picked up my little clippers. These aren't my good clippers. These aren't my good clippers. These are my good clippers. So let me do 108. Again, there's a lot of mold lines on this, so if I bring it a bit further up to the camera, again, it might not seem like you need to remove mold lines on parts where they're not going to be seen, but what you've got to remember is that they can affect how well parts fit together, so reducing the risk of kind of gaps in the model. So as laborious as it is to, I've sworn that I'll do this job right. I swear I'm probably I think I'm probably one of the few people in the world who could quite happily get a job just putting miniatures together. I like to think that I'm patient enough to do that. If anyone wants to pay me a day's wage to put one of these together, my day rate's about 200 quid. Sorry. Okay, right, so this one was 108. I'm just gonna get this in the right position, and then I am going to just check how this positions. So it pops outwards and then it kind of looks like it's supposed to slide into those little nipples there. So it's going to be Tower of Terror as I do keep doing this at the moment to the camera. Sorry about that. Not my ideal situation. Yeah, you can see here there's like, it's definitely not a perfect joint, and I'm going to get that perfect. So, right, let's get this in. So one thing, right, this is one thing that I've found from experience, is try not to get any glue right on the end of any nipples or right inside any dimples. I don't even know if I'm using the right words here with nipple and dimple, but what the hey, there we go. Okay, now the idea there is, you see what happens, and I think this is a problem I make with push fit models. I get glue in inside a dimple, and it means that it's kind of like creating liquid that's trying to shoot up as I change the pressure. So I'm going to try and learn from that mistake in the future when I'm doing push fit. Okay, 109. Plink. That is the wonderful sound of a plink. Right. I shall investigate where this has disappeared to. Oh my God. I wouldn't mind, but I swear I actually just saw it hit that the ground. There it is. See, how many people are gonna sit there and quite happily explain to you the joys of finding something that's just kind of popped off into the middle of nowhere, right? Okay, getting that. Again, quite a lot of mold lines on this, so it feels to me that this, I don't recall my knights that I had years ago, that I built years ago, one for my brother and one to sell. I don't recall them having this many mold lines. So what little I do know about the injection process is that we end up with little bits. I've got a bit of glue spilt there. I'm going to pick that up. There we go. Might as well. Okay, and then same again. I'm just going to gently fit that there. There we go. Okay, now they should be nice and solid there. Yeah, so I think as the kits wear out, as the molds wear out, you start to get more mold lines forming, thicker mold lines. You do have to be mindful of that with all the models. And you know, it's strange to think, but this Knight kit is going on for a few years now, and they make so many of them. Okay, 107, so this is this part. You'll notice this one, that I'm not doing one side and then the other side at the same time, and that's because, to be fair, other than those tiny little pieces, it's mostly big parts, so I don't really feel a particular need to kind of move on. There's not lots of little fiddly bits, so it depends on the process that you're following. Maybe if I wasn't making a video and I was working a bit quicker, I'll probably, you know, get that prepped quickly, glue the little bits on, move on to the next side. But to be honest, this ring isn't really going to interfere with that too much. Okay, let's get this. just trying to check for mold lines on this now. Doesn't seem to be any, which is good. I'm quite happy about that. So for attach this permanently, I'm just going to do a dry fit, just to make sure, among other things, that I've got these perfectly on. Now I can feel, and I'm pushing it in and getting some spring back. You can see that this is where I'm at high risk of having a gap between these, so it's going to have to be very carefully done now. So I'm going to gently, I'm going to try my best to get the glue not on the dimples, not on the nipples, but as close to the side as possible. Now the idea being that since it's already kind of springing back, I think there's kind of too much risk of it pushing this back outwards again. So this is the important about this part, squeezing and getting it to breathe. Get that glue to breathe, you know, so that it dries quicker. You can see now that means that as I'm gently pushing it inwards, it's already partially dried. I'm reducing the risk of this popping further out than I want. Well, I don't want it popping out even slightly, to be quite honest, but you know, you can see I'm winning it. I'm winning the war against it. That's why it's very important just for a second to let the glue breathe, and that way it'll create a tighter bond. And there we go. I seem to have saved, you know, I saved it. I haven't had the spring back. That's what I wanted. Right. Okay, now I'm just going to pop that over there. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to pop it over this side actually, because that's that side. And then I'm going to start focusing now on 105, which is the second of these hull plate side hull parts. There we go. Just trying to get this cleaned off, and then I can start scraping away those horrible mold lines. Definitely a big cleaning job this, as you can see. Oh, getting there. La, 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 la. It's so many mold lines to remove. Oh, do you know what? It's probably one of the. It's probably a punishment for your average miniature like hobbyist. If you go to hell, it's like moving mold lines. You know, similar to having to push a rock up a hill. You know, just you have to remove all the mold lines for a model, and as soon as you're done, they grow back again. Oh, all right, 103 and 104 now. So these are these little bits. Start with 104, I think. I'll pop up 104 off. I love this little tool. It's Cambridge Stormbringer. Never had one. So good. There we go. Slightly knocked off one of those little nipples, which I'm unfortunate. Well, the bolts, I'll have to fix that later on. Okay, same again. I'm gonna and this one goes towards this side by the look of it. Pops in there. 103 out now as well. Let's drop my scalpel onto my thigh. Starting to wonder if people just watch my YouTube channel, seeing how long it takes before I finally stab myself to lacerate something opens. Oh, seriously, I'm just so prone to, you know, dropping things, particularly knives. There were times I've just like missed my foot with the point of my scalpel. Is unbelievable. Just, I don't know. This one up here, pop it in just gently. There we we go. Okay, and then, right, this other ring now, which is 102. Oh, I'm so glad this one doesn't have any mould lines on it either. Okay, right, again, just do a quick dry fit to make sure it's going to go on neat and solid. Again, bit of spring back, gonna take the same approach, not go directly on it, slightly on the side of anywhere that it kind of clicks into. Pop it on, back and forth, let it breathe. There, again, worked how I wanted it to, sealed nicely. Right. Okay, and then now it's time to build the back. Well, actually build the middle part. So this is probably where it's going to be one of those build it, then potentially pause the video. Now I think I have to move across to the other sprue. Oh. And I think when I've done this part, I'm going to recover my pull back. So for this one, I'm going to need 1, 25 and 37, because why not go for some completely weird numbering process while we're at it. So everything kind of attaches through 25. So let me get that one out first. Oh, wonderful mould lines, as well as hard to reach injection points. Because then, obviously, I will use my scraping tool in a bit, but because these mould lines are quite thick so far, I'm just going to shave them down a bit with my scalpel first. And there's this thing just to finish it off. You can see there's quite a few unfortunate mould lines just in little places. Not very visual, you know, not obviously there, not terrible, not soul destroying if you miss them, but I want them gone. crack my back. Right. Okay, and then now number 1, which is this back of the carriage. Let's hope that this is a quick part. Gee, I've completely forgot how long it takes to build these things. And I appreciate that I'm kind of doing a how-to at the same time. You can't exactly, you know, suggest that I'm doing a bad timing. I wonder how quick I would do it if I wasn't talking. No more lines. Right, so we have on this one, so we want it circle upwards, and it's going to dry fit in there like that. So can you see how? Ooh, there we go. So it's going to go over like that, hook. So it's got a good strong point to bond it. With it, as always, you know, do it right to begin with. Get that air between that joint, between that glue. That way it's nice and strong. And then 37, which is the front cabling for the knight. So when you look at something like that, that front cabling, it's such a proper Imperium aesthetic, isn't it? That exposed thing. Yeah, the old exposed wires, you know, cables, easy to access, easy to wreck. Again, dry fitting it, just making sure, gentle about it. Yeah. Now, again, just be very careful not to get too much glue into any kind of indentation. Did I put that on the... Must put that on upside down then. Okay. There we go. Right, so that carriage is going to start drying up now. So while that's going on, I'm just going to kind of set them to one side. I've got them in the right positioning for later on. Now would be a good time to kind of build the exhaust system up so it's built, ready, out the way. Again, I'm not one to rush things, so I might as well do this while that is all settling in on itself. See, I'm not even drying it together yet. I want to make sure that everything is settled before I push the other parts in. So I'm going to do 2 big. So I'm going to do exhaust with 112, 111, which is these parts over here. Which lovely. I can already see the mold lines. And then if I just tidy these up. One thing that really always intrigues me is so many people do rusted corrosion on exhausts for, you know, these vehicles, and I don't know, in so many ways my brain just turns around and goes, come on, you know, really, 51st century, is everything going to be that rusted that easily? It's not that I don't like it, I think it looks really cool. And I'm probably going to add a little bit of corrosion. But I want to do it in just the right way when I do it. I just want to feel like it's going to be more about heat wear. I mean, I'm sure anyone who's a proper sort of, I don't know, engineer minded on these things would probably correct me and say, look, you know, it's just a matter of fact. You heat the things up constantly, doesn't matter what you make them from, they're going to rust. They're going to start corroding. The heat's going to bond the oxygen to them. There's nothing you can do about it. Anyway. Okay, so get those two sides of this exhaust drive fit together, nice and solid. Just gonna get some glue running. Now I can see that I've put far too much on. Just spread that out a bit. There we go. Right, so that one is to go this side. And then 113 and 114, these are the sides of the exhausts. Now, although the instructions tell you how to do it a slightly different way, there's little bits that need adding onto the side of the carriage. Again, experience from when I've built one of these in the past, one thing that I found is if I kind of put the rest of the parts on before I'd attach these little side parts to this, it would just keep kind of collapsing in on itself as I try to, you know, attach things. So I'll show you the parts that I do differently to the instructions in a different order. Tool. There she is. Go away, mold line. Bloody get lost. Again, let's do a quick dry fit, make sure it's a good fit. No bumps or anything where it shouldn't be. Even on these little bits, it's a good idea to just get the air into them so that they don't end up popping apart and splitting. Okay, now what my next little bit will be is, while those exhausts are kind of drying up, I'm going to find 26 and 27. Now these are kind of little hang-ons to the side, which I'm really worried I'm going to have to go find a different sprue for. Oh no, here they are. Right, over with the big weapons. Okay, so 26. Now this is where I go slightly against the instructions. Because obviously the instructions before now would have said put the 3 parts together of the chassis that we built. I'm not going to do that until I've got all of this prepped and on. So this one's 26. Now that would mean I've got to pull my head around here. So if this is 26, let me think. Got to spin this around now to get my head into the right gear. Yeah, it's this one on this side. Right, now what I'm going to do, so I'm even getting the side mixed up. So I put these in here. Okay, so these are going to kind of fit onto this. Squeeze onto the undercarriage if I get them in the right positioning. Fingers are giving up on me now. Right. If I got that the wrong way around. I hate it when my fingers mess up and I start putting things the wrong way around. Come on, I'm not doing this wrong, am I? Get it that way. This is 26. 26 goes on there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. Such a weird little one, that, because you can see it's kind of looks like it's got a gap underneath. It's not going to, or shouldn't do, by the time we're done. Yeah, that's how it goes in. It just looks weird because it's not finished yet. There will be a little bit underneath that, so I'm gonna glue that in now. What am I doing? Wrong. I'm putting things on the wrong side now, aren't I? Yeah, I am. Gosh, brain's just shutting off at this point. I think I've had just a very long day. I've built too much in a single day, and I think my brain is giving up. Come on, glue on. Yeah, get this weird little gap underneath, but that'll be fine. Trust me. Right. Okay, and then heading over here, doing 27. Again, same thing, it'll feel wrong because it won't kind of close off properly, but it is correct. It doesn't close at the bottom. So basically, again, I'm just going to dry fit that in. You can see it kind of slides in like that. Okay, then it's like, it will feel strange because it doesn't close where you think it should close off at. Wait. Right, now next thing to do is just start looking at all this dry fitting stage now, where we're going to kind of slide this one in on this side. Just very gently push it inwards, make sure that it fits nice and snug. There we go, you should hear it nice and click. Okay, that will go slightly behind there. Now, again, on top of that, we've got to get this exhaust on the side as well. Now, this is where, again, the instructions will tell you to put this on there first, but if we do that, then what will happen is when we try and push this exhaust on, we're going to end up forcing this inwards. So sometimes doing things slightly different to the instructions will make it easier in the long run. Right then. Now I'm just going to let that dry a little bit longer. This is very slowly crippling me sitting like this, so I need to feel like I can get done soon. Right, so now what we need to do is we kind of need to build up the face plate. So, let's just pull that out and have a good look at it. Now that is, this thing, it's 40, 47 and 46. Now these might actually be somewhere else. Yeah, I think we're going to check the other bits. So many bits on this. There we go, I think I've found it. So over here, different sprue. We've got so many different parts. So we've got 46, 40, 46 and now that's interesting. Why is that numbered 49? I think we have duplicate numbers. I don't recall this last time round. I'm actually confused now, because what I'm seeing as officially labelled as 49 does not appear to be so when I look somewhere else. Now, I'll pause the camera for a second, I think. Yes, so I was in the wrong place then. There seems to be an additional sprue with some duplicate numbers on it. I think there may be like extra guns and things like that that maybe were added to the kits after the initial kind of add-ons, so they're like an extension kit. So what we're actually looking at is going back to the one where we got all the leg parts from on this part and finding 46, 47 and 40. So we got 46 here. 47. And then was 40. 40 is a... There we go. Okay, now let's just pop these, clean them up and then pop them together. Well, I'm glad there's no mould lines anyway on this part. It's been a pain to clean up mould lines on this part. I really wish I had a license to play music. I could put music on while I did this like when I was... Right, so now I'm going to get these two kind of attached. So what you do is you kind of got to get this inside here, so it's like that, and then obviously it'll go on this side. You see, and you kind of attaching that head part together. Okay. Right, so now what I'm going to have to do is just pop this apart gently. Now, the important part about this is you can't get this glued. So you need to just put a little bit of glue gently on the back here. Then a tiny bit there, then one down there. Now, what you don't want is it to kind of go backwards. So like this, gonna hold it nice and solid. Right, and then this is kind of the supporting mechanism for the head. Now we need the face plate. Well, not the face, like you've kind of got these optics and things. It's not the face plate, it's actually the head where all of the I suppose ocular parts go. There is a variety of lovely face plates with this miniature actually, which I rather like. So gosh, you have no idea, absolutely no idea how tempted I am to magnetize the actual face plates. But I don't know if that's really going to work, that. But what I'm going to do is just get that on, and then again just get the air in there so that it's all, there we go. Now moving on from there, we need 36. And at the moment I need the new spine. This one is wrecked. So 36, let me find 36 now. For a quick look around. Here we go. So it's over here with the chainsaw. Just pushing along. Any obvious sign of mold lines on this one as well. Does not appear to be, which is a good thing. Okay, we're getting there. Now what's going to happen is in a second this is going to nest into here. While I've tidied that up, it should have been drying, and now I can go and get pieces 38 and 39, which again is over on this sprue with the where the legs came from. So 38, now this is going to go on the left side of the skull. My right, it's left. You can see it kind of sits in like that. Okay, get my other little one of those off, the 49. So basically same again on the other side. It kind of sits like that, nice and snug. Then what this will do is it's going to sit kind of here in this, so it's a bit weird, this part. You can see it'll go like there. Now this is where I run into a bit of a dilemma. Now I need to attach piece 42, so let me show you what piece that is when I can find it. Piece 42. So no, I cannot. I'll find it. Hang on. I think this build is finally getting to me, and I've gone number blind. Every other 40 is right here. All I need is 42. Piece 42, come on. Any takers on piece 42? So basically it's here next to the chainsaws. The problem is with this little piece now is I'm not going to cut that off or attach it yet. It's just too small. And the other thing is, once you lock that in, your head is attached and you cannot remove it again. So my advice at this stage is just simply do not finish this part. Do not follow instruction kind of, which one is this, kind of 2C section of finishing it off. So don't attach it. It'll make it a lot easier to paint, and then later on you can sort it out properly. So just that's my advice at that point. If you choose, you know, to do it. Other than that, you know what, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Right, now it's time for me to attach these. So I've done what I need to do, and now I'm going to put these side panels on. So let me just slide a bit of glue in there. To get these points secured. Now what I need to do is I just need to pop this part in all the way, secure it on every side. See, I'm trying to get the air into this so that it really pulls itself together. Secured and safe. This is why, as you can see, I didn't really want to put these on before, because as you're pushing inwards you're going to knock them down. And then same again for this second side. Then push it inwards, slide it in. There we go. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure there's no gap around the back here, which is one of the big issues I've always found with these things. You want to basically really get that secure. And it's the same on the front. You basically want to make sure that that is locked solid. Which I have always found is easier said than done on this kit. Because every time you push it inwards, it wants to kind of pop apart. It's kind of doesn't like going together properly. Sound like this if you've got a really strong elastic band, you're doing yourself a favour. Okay, now again, this part here slides in like this at the front. Now obviously be a bit careful, because this, you know, these might have only not fully set. And now those dimples, those nipples even, go at the bottom. Just give it in like this, let it breathe. Again, push it in, right. Push it all together. You'll notice that that part is sticking outwards towards the top. That is perfectly fine. That's what it should be doing at this stage. Now, let me check if I have got a big beast of a ruler band. It would be helpful at this stage if I did. Here's my big beastie band. Yeah, I said get a big beastie band, I meant it. Right, now, I'm going to have to do this carefully, because last thing I want to do is, in trying to put a securing band around it, collapse it in on itself. So as I said, I'm not going to attach this part yet because I like to paint that separately. I want to make sure that I can get all the detail inside it. This is going to spend a while drying, making sure that it all kind of secures itself. I think, let me just double check, there might be anything that I think would be useful to finish. No, I think this is a good stage. The rest is kind of decorations that are going on it, so which I will may or may not add because I might decide to put my own personal decorations on it. So that is pretty much everything up to building the main carriage itself with the exhausts on it, minus the head, which I want to leave for a little bit longer. So that was long enough for this video, an hour 10 almost. So please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and you know, I will keep building these how to build videos and seeing what you think of them.